BryanZ, so let's go into it.
All right, we have Chag against BryanZ. This matchup is actually, I think, the most even matchup we've seen throughout this tournament so far. These two characters, we all know top tiers of this game, and incredible pressure and incredible combo games. And I think this is gonna be a real test for both of these players to see who really is the best today. I mean. And right now we see a lot of pressure coming in from Chag. They're pretty even in percentages, but this position that Chag is putting him on, just on the ledge the entire time. We know that BryanZ is pretty comfortable at the ledge, and that Ivysaur with those side beats and just covering the stage as he comes back. But that backer is gonna seal out Ivysaur's first stock, and now BryanZ has to find an answer, has to find a way to actually close this lead, or stop this momentum first and foremost. Because if he lets Chag run away with it, he's gonna run away with it. And this percentage just keeps on building up onto BryanZ, and he can't find a way to make Chag just stop in his tracks and get something started. Only 68% on Chag, and that almost was the stock. That double up air could have been very dangerous for Ivysaur. But he makes it back to the stage and actually down throw up air at that percentage. That combo just to seal the first stock from Chag, and it's actually working out very well. But the up smash ledge trap there is actually going to close out Ivysaur's second stock. And we see an entire stock of difference from Chag. And now he's starting up even his own combo now, 42% on this Squirtle. And that down tilt hit, but not the forward? That was so weird. I completely imagined that was gonna be the opening that BryanZ needed, but it wasn't. And Chag just continues to apply pressure, and BryanZ needs to find an opening now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is when you have to pull through those Squirtle combos that we saw earlier against Nair. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen though, and I'm actually quite amazed that he has yet to switch to Ivysaur until now. This was pretty much the occasion. I mean, 91%. What are you gonna do with Squirtle at this point? You really need to get that advantage state going, and it's not looking that easy against Chag, but the Vine Whip might be what you need. And of course, we talk about how easy it is to punish those teleport recoveries, but this is no Ridley. You still have to take into consideration the different angles that Palutena can hit, and of course, the moment in which the teleport is going to activate. That's why BryanZ is not being quite as successful catching it with the downer.
Right, and now we see this Charizard is getting incredibly pressured on this platform, then drop down there to knock him down, to knock him away even further, and potentially burn the resources. That down tilt could have been very dangerous, could have converted into the stock, but the falling Nair, the Chag special, we mentioned it before, and we're gonna continue mentioning it because it's gonna keep happening. The Chag special, the Nair into up tilt seals that first game.
Yes, sir, and you know, this is also not a new set that we're looking at. I mean, BryanZ, one of the classic Mexican players from the state of Mexico. Like I said, he plays in Neza, but usually just goes to downtown Mexico City to play, I guess. And let me just Google real quick what their head-to-head record is, because, I mean, Chag and Hyuga play constantly, for instance. And so, BryanZ being Hyuga's brother, of course, he's going to be in those friendly matches consistently. But you know, there are so many players that we might not see that make up history, and so BryanZ is actually the one who won the latest set against Chag, defeating him 3-1 in person in winter semifinals of that tournament that they played at. Then he got eliminated by Chag later on, but so 12-3 in set counts in favor of Chag, of course. But it's not impossible for BryanZ to still take this one.
Right, and we see that game one might have been the adaptation shown from those previous sets that they've played then, and BryanZ just not out yet for sure. He still has a shot. He just has to win this game for sure. This is his this game is his ticket to potentially advance in this bracket. And we see this immense amount of pressure, but not as much as we saw from that first game. Now it's kind of even in percents, and it could be either way now.
Yes, indeed. It could go to anybody because this is Charizard with max rage that we're talking about, but that down tilt into upper is going to do it, and so Squirtle is back out. I don't think he's going to be here much longer, though. I think Ivysaur is coming through, and there he is, now trying to set up for the downer. Doesn't hurt that he's also setting himself up to cover with the upper. I mean, he knows that Chag might just jump or roll to get up, and so up air will cover a lot of those options, and he barely misses. I mean, Chag, so smart when he needs to overextend his teleport as well, so that he could avoid that. And look at all this percent that he might put onto Charizard. Pinata, at the end of the day, he is combo food, and so puts him on the top side of the stage as well. I mean, stage control is always Chag's.
Right, and I think in these situations, I think BryanZ would be better off probably switching off of the Charizard. Ooh, but the misplay from Chag actually giving up that first stock. But yeah, as I was saying, I think both other Pokemon, especially Ivysaur, obviously, both other Pokemon have the opportunity, have the chance to seal out stocks relatively, well, not that hard. You see, Ivysaur definitely has the tools, and I think Charizard is just gonna struggle to even get to play in the first place. So I think BryanZ should consider, you know, just remaining with the Ivysaur a little bit longer to try and seal out stocks, because so far the moment he switches to Charizard, Chag starts applying the most pressure he can, and he's just not getting to play. As you can see, he hasn't landed in a while.
And this won't be any different. He did get up, but that's an immediate back throw. And so this is BryanZ's last stock in the set, possibly, unless he can make something work here. But it's looking quite complicated. The ledge trap game has yet to stop, and Chag is just gonna wait for that switch. Of course, Ivysaur is gonna come through. There was no way BryanZ was trying to go with the up B from Squirtle. That was going to be curtains with a downer. And so back to playing neutral with the leaf toad or whatever species Ivysaur is, but it's looking quite complicated. He's still somewhat of combo food, and so Chag is just waiting for this to end. He's just waiting to catch BryanZ off stage and go for a neutral or a downer or whatever, and of course force him to switch into Charizard, because that would be easier to combo.
Right, but we saw what BryanZ is capable of with that Ivysaur and those up air conversions, so we can't count him out just yet. That rage is building up, and if there is gonna be anything that Charizard can do, is take those hits, you know, survive for a long while, and if he can manage to turn all of this disadvantage into an opportunity with that rage, it's gonna be huge. He could turn this around, and that up smash might be the very beginning of this situation.
Still could happen. The thing is, Palutena is quite privileged. BryanZ has to play around that back air and dash attack so much. So far, so good, though. Oh no, the explosive flame is going to do it. No, siree, great DI from him. But the next one will definitely be what ends it. So he has to play even extra careful, not finding the throw. Chag can also put himself in a very bad spot if he goes off stage, so he doesn't want that to happen. Back throw barely not killing from center stage too. I mean, it just goes to show how hard it is to survive, and that's going to be it. The up air will close out the set. Chag remains undefeated on this pool, winning 3-0 in sets, only dropping a game to Gilhue.
Man, and I think BryanZ, you saw him revving up the engine. He was starting to pick it up. He was starting to shift into another gear there at the end. He started playing much faster. He started playing a much scarier game with Charizard.